The history of Ukraine's independence. The history of Ukrainian land spans over 1,000 years. In the 9th century, Kievan Rus emerged on these territories, a powerful state with its capital in Kiev. This was a period of cultural flourishing, trade, and statehood. In the 16th-17th centuries, the Zaporizhian Cossacks formed on Ukrainian lands, a unique military-political organization with its own traditions of self-governance. The Cossacks established the Hetmanate, an autonomous state formation that defended its independence. Throughout the centuries, Ukrainian lands were under the control of various empires, but the aspiration for independence never faded. 1917, 1921. After the fall of the Russian Empire, the Ukrainian People's Republic was proclaimed, the first attempt to create a modern Ukrainian state. 1922, 1991. The Soviet period. Following the Civil War, Ukraine became part of the USSR as the Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic, UKRSSR. Formally, the UKRSSR had the status of a union republic with its own constitution, government, and even a seat at the United Nations from 1945. However, real power resided in Moscow, and all key decisions were made by the Central Soviet leadership. This period was contradictory. Holodomor 1932-1933. An artificially created famine that took millions of Ukrainian lives, repressions, persecution of Ukrainian intellectuals, bans on the development of national culture, industrialization, development of industry and infrastructure. World War II. Ukraine suffered enormous losses. Despite the Soviet system, Ukrainian identity, language, and culture continued to exist. By the late 1980s, during Perestroika, the national movement for independence gained momentum. 1991, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, on August 24, 1991, the Verkhovna Rada adopted the Act of Declaration of Independence of Ukraine. On December 1st of the same year, in a nationwide referendum, more than 90% of citizens supported independence. Why Ukraine is an independent state? International recognition. Ukraine is recognized as an independent state by all countries in the world and has been a member of the United Nations since 1991. Constitution. Ukraine has its own constitution, adopted in 1996. Sovereignty. The country possesses all attributes of an independent state: territory, population, government, and military. The Ukrainian language with ancient history and rich literature. Unique cultural traditions that differ from neighboring peoples. A distinct identity formed over centuries. The 1991 referendum confirmed Ukrainians' desire to live in an independent state. The Revolution of Dignity in 2013-2014 demonstrated the people's aspiration for a European path of development and defense of their sovereignty. Resistance to aggression since 2014 shows Ukrainians' determination to defend their independence. Today, Ukraine is a sovereign state with a population of over 40 million people, with its own economy, culture, and democratic institutions. The country is a candidate for membership in the European Union, which confirms its European choice and aspiration to integrate into the European community. Ukraine's independence is not merely a political fact. It is the result of centuries of struggle by the people for the right to determine their own future. This story is based on historical facts and international law. Ukraine is an independent state by law, by history, and by the will of its people.